Hello, everyone. I'm so excited about today's lesson.
Hi, Emma. I'm excited too. We're going to talk about opinions today.
Exactly. Sharing opinions is really important in conversations. It helps us connect with others.
Absolutely. And sometimes we agree, and sometimes we disagree.
Right. Today, we will focus on agreeing and disagreeing politely. What do you think, Jake?
In my view, learning how to disagree respectfully is very important.
I agree. It avoids conflict and encourages a healthy debate.
So, let's dive into the phrases we can use. Ready to get started?
Absolutely. I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Great, let's see. First, we might say, personally, when sharing our own opinion.
Oh, yes. For example, personally, I think summer is better than winter.
And for saying why we hold our opinion, we can say, I'd argue.
Exactly. Like, I'd argue that coffee is better than tea for energy.
Next, to agree, we might say, fair point, when someone makes a good argument.
That's a useful phrase. If someone says something you think is true, you can say, that's a fair point.
And if you disagree gently, you can say, I beg to differ.
Right. Like when someone says pizza is the best food, and you can say, I beg to differ. I think sushi is better.
Exactly. These expressions will help our discussions flow better.
Okay, let's put these phrases into practice with a dialogue.
Sounds good. So, Emma, do you think social media is beneficial for society?
Personally, I think social media has both good and bad sides.
Fair point. But I'd argue that it mostly brings people together.
I can see why you'd say that. However, I beg to differ. I believe it can also create isolation.
That's true, but in my view, it also provides a platform for people to express themselves.
Yes, I agree with that. Social media can be a great tool for expression.
But we also see fake news spreading on these platforms.
You make a fair point there. Fake news can lead to misunderstandings.
Exactly. Personally, I think there should be stricter regulations on social media.
I'd argue that education about media literacy might be better than regulations.
I see your point. Improving education could help people think critically about what they read.
Definitely. In my view, teaching critical thinking will empower users.
And that education might reduce the impact of fake news.
Exactly. So, how can we conclude this discussion?
In conclusion, both sides have valuable points.
Yes. There are pros and cons to social media, and we should balance our views.
Agreed. Now, let's move on to review some of the phrases we used.
Great idea. For example, personally, we used when stating our feelings.
Right. And saying, I'd argue, helped us present our cases.
We also practiced fair point to acknowledge good arguments.
And we couldn't forget, I beg to differ, for polite disagreement.
Let's move to our vocabulary section.
Okay. First, let's break down personally.
Sure. Personally, I enjoy traveling in the summer.
Another example could be, personally, I think dogs are better pets than cats.
And lastly, personally, I prefer tea over coffee.
Great. Now let's move on to, in my view.
In my view, everyone should learn a second language.
In my view, the best way to learn is through practice.
In my view, good communication skills are essential for success.
Next up, I'd argue.
I'd argue that exercise is crucial for a healthy lifestyle.
I'd argue that reading expands your vocabulary.
I'd argue that travel can help us understand different cultures.
Now for fair point.
That's a fair point. Education is important.
Fair point, but there are many different perspectives to consider.
He made a fair point about the importance of teamwork.
Lastly, let's look at, I beg to differ.
I beg to differ. I think apples are better than oranges.
I beg to differ on that opinion about movies.
I beg to differ. I prefer outdoor activities over indoor ones.
Now let's review what we've learned today.
1. What would you say to express your opinion politely?
You can say, personally.
2. How can you acknowledge someone's good point?
You could say, fair point.
3. What should you say if you disagree politely?
I beg to differ.
4. How can you present your argument?
I'd argue.
5. Can you give an example of using, in my view?
In my view, learning languages is exciting.
That was fantastic. I really enjoyed our discussion today.
Me too. It's always great to share opinions.
Next time, we'll explore how to make persuasive arguments.
I can't wait. Until then, practice expressing your opinions.